Give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion, and it's good enough for me.
Hi, Andy Wilson here, coming at you again from the Public Citizen offices in Austin, Texas. Now, we hear in the news today that the U.S. Chamber of Commerce wants to put global warming on trial. That's right, they want to put global warming on trial. Not to mention the U.S. Chamber of Commerce members who are already publicly in favor of doing something about global warming, namely Alcoa, Kodak, Pepsi, Toyota, and IBM, among many others, members of the Chamber of Commerce who are in favor of action on global warming. But the U.S. Chamber, in its infinite wisdom, has decided that we need to put this on trial. We need to put global warming on trial, and how are we going to do it? Oh, we're not just going to put it on any trial. They said that they want this to be the Scopes monkey trial of the 21st century. The Scopes monkey trial, that they are siding with the anti-evolutionists, just like they're siding with the anti-scientists on this side. And that's absolutely ridiculous. I wonder what that trial would look like.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm just a caveman. A few years ago, your scientists were drilling for ice core samples, and lo and behold, they found me. Now, they were drilling because they wanted to find out what the climate was like when I was around, and it was pretty cold. Your world frightens and confuses me. I look at a Prius and I think, is that a metallic dinosaur that just swallowed two people? Or is that a futuristic conveyance filled with solar panels that actually cool the air inside? Now, I may not know much, being a caveman, but what I do know is that anthropogenic greenhouse gas emissions are at unprecedented levels and threatening the very climate in which we breathe and live and prosper today. And it just so happens that the scientists agree with me. A simple caveman can understand global warming. Hopefully the U.S. Chamber of Commerce can too.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I ain't some fancy big city caveman lawyer. I'm just a simple country lawyer like one of you. And you knows and I knows, global warming, it's a myth. It is a myth perpetrated by the left-wing socialists who want to take all that we got here and give it to all of them over there. And we ain't having none of that in our community, are we? No, sir. We know global warming, it ain't true. Carbon dioxide is just the stuff we breathe out and the plants breathe it in. It's a part of the life cycle, and I think intelligent folk like you know that. So putting more carbon dioxide in the air, that ain't no problem. I got here a chart that shows us global warming emissions. Now, if you look right here, you see actually what we got a little dip here. We got where the temperature is going down. That ain't global warming, that's global cooling. Now, I don't know what the rest of this chart means. That's not important. This part right here, that's important. And just to show you how good carbon dioxide is, I am going to take this here plastic bag and breathe it in and show you carbon dioxide is not toxic. Despite all of that, global warming has already been put on trial by the most conservative Supreme Court that we have had in the last 50 years in this country. In 2007, this same Supreme Court that Antonin Scalia and Clarence Thomas and John Roberts and Samuel Alito all sit on ruled in the case of Massachusetts versus EPA that carbon dioxide is a pollutant and it contributes to global warming, and that the US EPA has the right to regulate it as a dangerous pollutant. They've already said this. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce is just trying to play another shell game where they want to continue to put this on trial when the scientific evidence is in. Because when they say that they want to have a debate, then they put off actually having to do something on this. Don't let them get away with it. When we think about this, we can either side with commerce and the Chamber of Commerce, or we can side with the scientists. The scientists know that global warming is real, and we need to do something about it, or guess what? There ain't gonna be any commerce to argue about in 30 years if we have runaway global warming. So let's do something about this. Let's get it done. We have bills in the Senate that are working on. We've got to make those as strong as possible to make sure that we solve global warming. So get out there and tell your senator what's up. From Austin, Texas, this is Andy Wilson. Until we see you again, happy trails.
Old-time religion, give me that old-time religion, give me that old-time religion, it's good enough for me. It was good for all the prophets, it was good for all the prophets, it was good for all the prophets, and it's good enough for me. Give me that old